Everybody, welcome to the Morning Mindset. It's going to be a good day today, 8/27/2019. So I was working with my team yesterday and looking at the mindsets that I have from before. I actually have some mindsets in what we're going to be calling the archive going up in YouTube here over the next few days that are actually from 2015. So those are some interesting ones. Now, obviously, I've evolved quite a bit in the last 4 years on things that I consider important. But I still find that there's quite a bit of value in some of the ones I did. Again, I had 42 of those that we were able to garner. We're going to be putting those up. So keep your eyes out for those. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me here this morning. If you're new to the Morning Mindset, get out a pen, get out a notebook. We are doing a special series this week on sales. So for those of you that were here yesterday, I'm trying to kind of build a program or portfolio of discussion or the actual dialogue path that you're going to have with any of the potential people that you're making sales to. So today's a very interesting one, and it's going to help you a lot in the way that you prepare your scripts and you prepare your discussions, and hopefully will give you a clearer vision as to what it is that's retained by an individual that you're speaking with. And that's not everyone. When you've got someone on the phone that's an analytical, they'll stop you every time you make a statement. They'll be taking notes the entire time. So unfortunately, a lot of times, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but for whatever degree, a lot of times CEOs, owners, visionaries, you could say in the company, they aren't the analytical ones. You know, they're listening for something that is going to connect with them. It's going to connect with their business process. It's going to connect with their own personal vision. And so it's important for you in any conversation to always ask a lot of questions and have the individual company that you're speaking with, especially if it's a first call, explain their vision to you or explain the business model to you. Because if you know the credo, telling isn't selling, right? So if you're in there telling them about what you're doing, telling them about your product the whole time, that's not really selling to them. You really want to listen to what they have to say about the vision of their company. So again, I think I actually did a mindset earlier last week or week before, talking about how you're helping them paint this picture in, right? So let's get them talking a lot. But down to our subject for today, okay, the beginning and the end of your pitch should have 90% of the value proposition for the close. So what does that mean? 90%, that's a lot, okay? So the value proposition for a close, what is the value proposition? A lot of times you'll be asked that question when you're in a sale. What exactly is your folks' value proposition? What is it they're selling? Well, this becomes misunderstood a lot of times by reps. You'd imagine the value proposition is the details of the product, okay? If you're selling a marketing system, for example, maybe it's the details of the CRM and the massive email management system, the social media technology, whatever it might be. You might think that's your value proposition. The value proposition is really for them, okay? And it's always going to be specific to them and what you understand about them. And so a value proposition to one company is never going to be the same as it is to the next company unless they're the exact same designed company, which I don't think I've run into that in my 18 years as a professional on the phone. And so you want to understand what a value proposition is very clearly in your mind. What it is it's what of the opportunity you have casts into the vision of performance for the company in the future. Okay, it's what allows them, if they invest in you, if they sign the check, if they sign the contract, what allows them to do in performance with their company in the vision that they have. That's the value proposition. Okay, so whenever you get asked this early, it's an easy flip to say, well, listen, the value proposition for your company is going to be a specialized model. I need to learn more about your company. Can you tell me about X, X, and X? You can turn that early into a question because that question comes up a lot. Thank you for jumping on. Well, so what is your core value proposition? So hopefully I'm culturing that in your mind because there certainly is a value proposition as so to speak, of the list of services, the model, the departments and all of the things that your software or your service or your opportunity is going to fit into a company based off of, let's just call it the library of services that you may have. But that's not really the value proposition. It's what's going to be valuable for them. And you'll only understand that if you know what parts of what you're doing will actually combine with the vision they have moving forward with their business. Okay, it's very important to understand that. But the beginning and the end of your pitch should have 90% of the value proposition for the close. In the beginning, I checked out your website. I think that these 3 programs may work really well for your company. I'm excited about these 3 programs. I can tell you just a little bit in brief why I think it'll work well. I still haven't learned enough about your company yet. I'm really very excited about you guys telling me what it is that you're up to so that I can see if I'm accurate, and if not, culture this a little bit better. And so I think these 3 things are going to fit your company. So right out of the gates, you want to set the stage very simply about what it is that you're offering for them to bring into their company. And they're going to remember your first statements, okay? And your first statements should absolutely drive into a series of questions, right? So your first statements are based off of what I've researched. I believe these 4 things are going to be valuable to your company. Very interested in hearing more about what you guys are doing. There may be other things as well that we have, but what is it that you guys do? What are your goals? What's the vision of your company? Or if it's a technology sale, how well is the technology you guys are using now working? How many departments are initiated? How agnostic is it in your company? Is there only certain departments using your technology now? Get into asking them a lot of questions. The reason is because when you set up that value prop in the beginning, and then you let them manage the conversation for 80%, okay, 70 to 80% of that conversation, and you're learning, okay, you're going to identify in their talking back to you as you ask them questions where that value proposition most likely is going to fit best. What additional services you may have that fit the model. And don't interrupt them. Okay, now I even have a hard time doing that sometimes because I'll get kind of excited, right? Oh, well, we got this. Oh, man, I can't believe you're doing it that way. I've got this one thing for you. It's absolutely exemplary for your company. Let them finish. Keep asking questions. Take notes. At the end of the questions that they have and the concerns that they may have, unless you're on a call to do a demo, okay, demo calls are different than a discovery. Okay, we're talking about dialogue right now. You want to punch them with the most valuable parts of what you have to offer when you're almost out of time. Okay, now that may sound crazy. That may sound even difficult. Well, Beto, how do I do that when there might be 15 things that matter? Okay, well, it's easy enough to get a list together and say, listen to you talk. I'm excited about working with you guys. I know we've only got 10 minutes left. I want to just give you a list real quick of the things I know are going to absolutely be powerful for your company. Okay, the email service that we have. Listen to you talk about email. Wait till you see what we have on that. Social media technology that we have. Listen to the way you guys are dealing with social. This is going to streamline your business model on that side. Okay, and you just go through and very clearly make statements, because what you're really doing is you're building a trailer, right? You guys ever watch a trailer for a movie? It's got all these exciting pieces in it, right? And then you finally watch the movie and they're still exciting, and you're waiting for those trailer scenes to come up, right? That's the same thing that you're doing at the end of your conversation, is you're showing them the trailer. Okay, and why is it that you're doing it at the end? Because the psychology of a conversation takes what they remember from the beginning of the conversation and the end of the conversation and makes those 2 things in their minds the most powerful parts of what they remember about the conversation. Okay, you guys will notice you do the same thing. You'll remember what people say to you in the beginning, and you'll remember how everything closed up. So when you're at the end of your conversation, man, have your list ready. Because if you do that, they're going to be hungry. Just like when you watch a movie trailer and you're like, oh my goodness, that 2 minutes of that movie, I can't wait to go. Okay. You want to get their blood pumping and get them excited right before you get off the phone. Okay. That's the most important time to get them jacked about what you're offering, because then they come off of the call, they're elated because you just really nailed down those features right near the end. There's almost not enough time to continue talking about or finishing the conversation. Maybe you're tail ending that if you're doing an opportunity pitch with the discovery call. If it's a discovery call, maybe you're tail ending that with, man, I've got to get you on a demo. Okay. So now they're coming to the demo, right? Which is like watching the movie, and man, you hit that trailer hard. Right? They're just like, oh man, I can't wait to see the email service. He was telling me about the stuff for social media. That sounded amazing. So you want to save your strong punches for close to the end. And if you notice, a lot of people don't do it this way. And at the end of the conversation, things start kind of pittering out a little bit. Oh, well, yep, thanks for taking your time here. And it seems like you guys got something pretty good. And then you're like, yeah, thanks for talking with us about it. It should be more like, oh man, I can't wait for you to see what we have. These 5 services I think are going to be just incredible for your company. I can set a demo up for you guys so you guys can actually check it out. Okay, just listening to you talk about the vision of your company and where you guys are headed, I can absolutely see how these 5 services are going to do so well for you. Okay, they feel like they've been listened to, because that's what you should be doing for the bulk of the conversation, is letting them talk. Okay, they will tell you everything in a conversation that you need to know to close that deal. Okay, you don't got to jump on the phone trying to estimate everything you should say to them. They will tell you everything in a conversation you need to know to close the deal. And you just need to be making notes while they're talking. Okay, because remember, if you were on not my last one, but on the mindset where we were talking about painting pictures, they have a vision of their company. You're picking up a paintbrush and you're trying to help them finish that picture, right? You're not trying to get them super jacked about just buying your technology or buying your services. You're trying to say, hey, if you were involved with us, then your future is going to be amazing, because I can see it. I see your vision. I see your vision. Okay. You want that owner to be like, man, if Beto just worked here, he gets it better than my 5 staff members that keep arguing with me about how I should do this. He gets it the way I get it. Me and him we're the same. So you want to listen to everything that they're saying, because to create that similarity between you and them, all right, or you and the owner, let's just say, you got to understand what it is that they're trying to accomplish. So in the meat of that conversation, don't be in some big hurry to just be like, man, he didn't let me show him the slides. I wasn't able to go through the slide deck. Who cares about that? What you want to know is what they're up to. And then at the end, man, hit them with the trailer. Okay, I listened to everything you said. These things are going to be amazing. Let me show you a couple of slides real quick. Okay, this is I know we only have 10, 12, 15 minutes left to look at what we have. Build it up to where you've even got that expectation yourself, like, man, I wish I just had another hour. Because when you get off the phone with them, they're going to be like, I cannot wait to get back on the phone with Beto, man. Right at the tail end of that call, that call ended so well. How many times have you heard that possibly if you've purchased things yourselves or you've been on sales calls with a really good salesperson? Man, the tail end of that call, man, really built up. We got to get back on the phone with these guys. That's the expectation. Oh, man, that trailer was so good, I'm going to have to go spend the $12 to watch this movie. Okay, so people remember what you said in the beginning and what your final statements are the most. So that's what they remember, okay, is what they said in the beginning and what they said at the end. Okay, the beginning, preface, make sure there's no confusion. Why am I on the phone with Beto? Okay, here's the reason we're on the phone. These are some of the things I think may work for your company very well. I want to ask some questions about what you guys are up to. And then end that conversation with the trailer. Okay, these are the things I know are going to work great for your company. It was really good talking to you guys. I learned a lot. I'm super excited about getting into the next steps with you guys. They're going to get off the phone going, hey, I'm very excited about the next steps too. So that's my advice to you. Figure out how to do it the right way. When you're going to present a value proposition, figure out how to introduce it. Let them speak for the majority of the conversation, especially if it's an opportunity call. Then from the notes that you have, culture a real value proposition that actually fits their company. Okay, a real value proposition that actually fits their company, and then build your trailer out of it in conjunction with the actual value proposition that's in your model. That 5 points, because maybe you have 50 points as to what could be used by a company, but these are the 5 most important ones that I think these guys are going to love. Right? If you do that, people will be hungry to get back on the phone with you. They'll be hungry to get on the demo. They'll be hungry to get on the discovery call, because you ended that whole model with understanding their company well, because you let them speak, and getting them excited about what they're going to be able to expect coming up. So hopefully this helped you guys out today. Again, this is a special week. We're doing a sales series, so I'm pretty excited about that. Thank you for spending time with me here today. I hope to see you here again tomorrow. And again, I'm super excited about all these old mindsets, and you'll think it's fun if you've been on these calls with me. You'll see that they're great. They really are good information. But I've even involved myself as a salesperson, so I still find them highly valuable. It's just additional content that I have available for you guys, so check those out. And I will see you here again tomorrow morning.